Welcome back to the How to Feel Horrors podcast, where we review horror movies and horror movie franchises. I'm Tawan,
I'm Mark.
I'm Rudy.
I'm Maria.
and today we're watching one of my favorite standalone horror movies, Shudder, a Thai film released in 2004. To give you guys a little knowledge on the movie, we have a plot summary here. And Maria, would you mind reading it for us?
After hitting a young woman with her car, Jane and her photographer boyfriend, Tun, begin seeing a shadowy figure haunting the background of Tun's photographs. Concerned that the figure is the vengeful spirit of the young woman from the accident, Jane does some research and soon discovers that the was named Natter and had been a classmate of Tun's. As the haunting continues, Jane uncovers a shocking secret.
So, um, like I previously said, yeah, this is one of my favorite like standalone horror movies. I'll just say in general, I tend to like foreign horror movies since they just show us stories that may not get like shown over here in the states, and usually they tend to be a bit more scarier than some movies we get over here as well. Um, so what were you guys' first impression of the movie? Because I'm assuming most of this is like all your first time seeing this movie. Yes.
Yeah, it was mine. Uh, I watched it twice. The first time I watched it yesterday, I was high as shit and very, very exhausted from the night before. So everything freaked me the fuck out, especially when that bitch was on the ceiling. I was like, what the hell is going on right now? But then watching it again today, sober, it was kind of boring and a letdown.
I can see that. It is a very like slow burner movie. Would like till you get to like honestly like the last like 15, 20ish minutes. But I would say for me, like I tend to like movies like that. I don't know why, because I like to see where they're gonna go with it, and I guess that's why I like this one. But Rudy, what were your opinions on the movie?
So I tried watching it yesterday, and I had to like cut it off midway because it's just not my vibe. It was giving me like The Ring slash I Spit on Your Grave vibes, but only foreign. And I honestly don't enjoy foreign movies with different languages only because of the subtitles. Subtitles are like super distracting, and then I can't really focus on what's going on because I have to read the subtitles. You get me? So, I got like a glimpse of the movie, and I did a lot of research between yesterday and today just to kind of like get a summary of it. Because I do admit I didn't finish watching it. So, yeah. But from what I did get to see, which is like halfway through, it was definitely slow paced, and again, it reminded me a lot of like The Ring and like The Grudge and like that kind of vibe.
I got
It
you.
was it was slow paced. Like after that initial 10 minutes, by the 10 minute mark, I was bored as shit. I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. It took a lot, and then you said, Twan, that last like 20 minutes is when all the exciting shit happened, and I was like, why couldn't this be the whole movie?
I get that. And Maria?
Well, I've seen the remakes. Like I saw the English remake first,
Hmm.
and I saw another remake. Honestly, I've always liked the plot of the movie. Like I like the twist. I like how I don't. I liked the movie basically. I like how yeah it does start off slow, but I like the fact that it kind of starts off in a way that like I feel like the plot twist comes really unexpected. Like you think, oh, it's because they hit someone, and now it's that spirit. And then, but then as things like as the movie goes on, you end up kind of putting things together, and I like that. I like seeing little clues in the movie, and then like at the end, you're like, oh my god, it all makes sense. And I personally, I like the movie. I liked it the first time I watched it. Like I also like the remakes. Well, not the American one, but they're good. Like they're good movies. I really liked this movie a lot too. There were some parts where because I was like watching it, and there were some parts that were freaking me out that I had to like look away because I live by myself. I don't want to get scared. But personally, I liked the movie. Like I really like like the plot and the story of the movie.
Yeah, I get you. And I'll say for me, I think what I like most about this movie is how different it is from like other J horror movies. And I know it is a lot of the same, but movies like The Ring and like The Grudge, the curse like in those movies can be like attached to like anyone. Like in The Ring, they have to watch the tape and then you get like 7 days, or in The Grudge, you move into the house where the curse is and it like affects whoever is living there. Whereas with this movie, it was like specifically for like this group of people, and they did something so bad they manifested a curse upon themselves that only affected them. Which the only reason why I thought like it was interesting watching it, just because usually in these movies, like if there's a ghost or entity, it's like going after anybody. But once you get to the end and you see the twist and everything that's happening, it makes more sense why like the girl, like Jane, Tun's girlfriend, was like never like hurt or touched. Because at many times throughout the movie, I thought like when I first like watched it, I thought she was gonna like die or something. But it makes sense why she wasn't affected, because it really had nothing to do with her. But the ghost was just trying to get her to put like put the pieces together so she could discover what happened, basically.
Or even just for her safety to be like, yeah, these people you're around are bad news. Get
Yeah,
there.
definitely. So I guess move along. If you guys do have any standouts, if about like scenes that we liked or disliked in the movie, I'll go first in saying that the scene I still like the best in this movie is that scene where we see the picture of her sitting on his neck, and you piece it together that she's been there the entire movie. That was some crazy shit to see when I first watched it, because I like obviously like it made sense in the beginning, like when he was like, "Oh, his neck hurts," and like maybe he got whiplash in the car accident, like the doctor said. I don't know, but it definitely when it showed at the end, like she'd been sitting there the entire time, and it made him like commit suicide, like the rest of the friends. That was like my favorite scene, just because of like the shock factor of it all. And how about you guys? I think Mark.
Uh, I would say the only scene that I liked was that chase scene in the hallway when he was like in the elevator on the stairs and she was crawling. Well, and then the very last scene um when Jane opens the door and in the reflection you see that she's still on his neck while he's in the hospital. That's the only other scene. I didn't like everything else was too slow and too boring, and that rape scene, I was like, yeah, this is horrible, but it's not given what it was supposed to give, and I just by the time it got to that point, I was out of I was already done with the movie, so it didn't really affect me the way that they wanted to, and the twist kind of just went over my head.
No, I got you. Rudy, and what you did see of the movie, was there anything that you did like about any scenes? Or if you didn't have any of those, what was your least favorite?
So when I was watching the movie, um, I know this is like the most basic scene of them all for me to choose, but like it's whenever I think you pronounce his name Toon.
Yeah.
He goes to a specialist to check out his neck, and the specialist is pretty much telling him that there's like double the weight on his neck. And, like it gets you
Hmm.
thinking, especially me and like how do I put this simplified? Okay, so in Hispanic communities, we believe in like brujeria, which is witchcraft and stuff like that. So like the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, well, usually when you have pains anywhere in your body and you go to a specialist or a doctor, etc., and they tell you nothing is wrong, the secondary thing to do is to go to like a curandero, which is basically a witch doctor, and they get to tell you if you something happened to you, like if you're cursed, if someone put some voodoo on you. So when I saw that scene, it was kind of relatable. Not me personally, but like I've heard stories in real life where people do go to the doctors and they don't know what's going on. They can't figure it out till they go to like a witch doctor. So I think that was that obviously caught my attention because I'm a big fan of like witchcraft and voodoo and stuff like that. So that scene in particular was my favorite. Again, it's like kind of random, right, to pick it, but that was my favorite. My least favorite was obviously the rape scene and like the whole theory behind the rape in general. Uh, One, because I'm not a fan of like rape scenes in movies in general, and I've seen many movies nowadays have came out or been released, and they tend to incorporate a lot of that shit now. Like it goes back from like I'm not sure if you guys seen Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon, but that scene when I was a
I
kid, that was the
fucking
first.
hate that scene.
Yeah,
I don't think
that
I've
was the
seen
first
that
time
movie.
I've
What's it
ever
called
seen
again?
Stir of Echoes.
Okay.
It should be on Tubi. But yeah, I mean, in general, like when I was a kid, that was my first scene that I watched that included rape. So I was like terrified. I was asking my parents, "What is that? What are they doing to her?" And so ever since, I just got yeah, it's like PTSD when watching scenes like that. So that was my least favorite in the movie.
I gotcha. That makes sense. And Maria, yourself?
Well, the scene that I really liked was, I guess, the scene that Mark was talking about when she's on the ceiling. That scene was really creepy. Also the scene where he's outside climbing down like the ladder, and
Hmm.
you see her coming towards him very slowly, and then at one point he looks up and she's gone, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And then he looks like in front of him, and she's like right there, and he falls. Um, and then you see her coming down again. That scene was scary. um, Also the scene, I guess like the ending was so good because I just feel like you don't know yet. Like, I mean, like you kind of figured that the twist was, how basically, yeah, her getting raped by her friends and how he was there, he saw it, how he even photographed it and kept the pictures. Whatever, he's a piece of shit. But then like but I guess like the real twist was how she was with him the whole time, and that's why he had double the body weight. That's why he had all that neck pain, and why he had, all and it's really cool because like when you like rewatch the movie, you start to kind of notice all like the small things that happened during the movie to kind of point at the fact that yeah, there's something weird going on with this guy in general, and I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I mean, definitely the scene that I also another scene that I did like was when he was I think this was after she was cremated and he was in like their or like it was the day after her funeral something, and he was like in bed and he like feels something like tugging at him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his blanket slowly starts getting pulled off, and honestly, I feel like you never really expect to actually see something at the end of the bed, but then you
Hmm.
see her and she starts to crawl up on the bed. That part was scary. Um, Also, the part that really got me was when I think he was in that red room. That I guess is like the room where he does his pictures.
Yeah, the right. Yeah, development room.
Yeah, and then somebody comes in and he just assumes it's Jane, and he's like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then the phone rings and he's just like, "I'll go get it," and you just feel like it's a normal scene, and he just
Hmm.
walks out and it's Jane, and he's like, and you're like, "What the fuck?" That I thought, I don't know, that scene just, I really liked it.
Yeah, that
uh,
was a good one.
but I think a scene that I didn't like was also the rape scene. I also don't like rape scenes, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I will agree. That's also my least favorite scene in the movie as well. Like it gets what it get does. Like, of course, we get the point of why now like she's cursing them, but yeah, the rape scenes can be like gratuitous at points, and I definitely get that. So, moving on to some of the characters in the movie. and what we least or liked about them, anything like that. First, I'm just gonna start with the friend group as a whole, not including Ton, but his other like three friends, because they had like no screen time. Honestly, they were all like the beginning and the other parts when they eventually like off themselves in the movie, and we're just gonna say they were all bitches, because that girl did literally nothing to any of them. The only one she was involved with was Ton, and besides that, the other three of them had nothing to do, and they were just being fuckers and messing with her for no reason. And the fact that even Ton went along with it was very disturbing, and you could just see it in like her eyes when that one scene did happen, like how like one she like distraught she was, and also like for him just taking pictures there. Um, so pass it along to Mark. What were your thoughts of the friend group in the movie?
They all deserved it. They were assholes. Like,
Period.
yeah, she was like, wasn't she blackmailing him or something like that? She was doing something, but no matter what the fuck she was doing, she didn't deserve to be gang raped and then have her ex-boyfriend take photos of it and then he saves the photos. Like, if you felt so much guilt, why do you still have these fucking photos? Like, what's wrong with you? So they all deserved everything that she did to them. Yay her. I stand.
I felt that. Rudy.
Okay, so are you talking about like the friends that weren't
Yeah,
included?
just the friends, the ones that we like saw throughout the movie a little bit and at the beginning, who were also included in the rape scene, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. So like Mark said, they deserved it because they're douchebags. And you know what I just realized with these movies when it comes down to like anything relatively close to rape scenes, it's always the friends or like always the people that surround the main character who cause the trouble and causes like all of this shit happening to the main character. If you think about it, he paid for all of the guilt and the what's it called? What is that word I'm trying to say? Oh my god! Um, basically like guilt and like he killed the girl pretty much killed herself, but he was the reason why, and it's because of the friends that were also involved too. And I just don't think that they deserve to live or like to. I just feel like it should have been reversed, if that makes any sense. It should have
Hmm.
been the friends who were dealing with the shit and not just Tune.
Yeah. And Maria?
No, yeah, they were douches. They got what was coming to them. Um, I mean, I think the reason why I guess she left him for last was because she was like in love with him, you know?
Hmm.
But she also probably couldn't forgive him for what he did. Because I mean it was the friends that did it, but like, he kept their relationship a secret. I don't think he told the friends that he was like dating her. So he probably made her seem crazy as fuck. She was blackmailing him, and she obviously, didn't want him to leave her despite the fact that he didn't love her in the first place, and he basically led her on, knowing, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be nice to someone and then date them because you feel bad. That's awful. Um so it's just kind of like, I don't know, I just like, the friend group was stupid. Like, they're all pieces of shit, to be honest. Like, I think in the beginning where one guy got married, yeah, because
Yeah.
it was like his wedding,
Hmm.
and they had talked about how he was literally out the night before cheating or looking to like to fuck or something. And it was like, as his wife comes and they all laugh like it's a joke. And I'm just like, this poor woman, she's wearing her wedding dress, she's married to this guy, and you guys are laughing at the fact that he was literally out the day before cheating. I don't know. I thought I hated that part, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, like, you don't really see much of like the other friends too. but it's like I don't know. I mean, that whole group in general was just awful. I feel like they were all awful people. Like, like, sure, Ton didn't, actually hurt her or do anything to her, but it's just the fact that, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But it's just the fact that, like, he knew about it, he let them do that, and never said anything and kept the fucking pictures. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. And then he never like followed up afterwards. Like after she had left, he just forgot about it. He would like I think he was saying like I don't know what happened to her. They had to go find her and do all that, Jane, trying to help her man, but it was just I don't know. I feel like he was just as bad.
no, yeah, I fully agree with that. Um, moving on, since we did end about talking about finding her, let's speak on Natter's mom. Now, I don't remember if they actually gave her mom a name. I think they just went by like Natter's last name and was like Mrs. and then like her last name. So I don't think she actually did have like a character name, but we do know that was like her mom in the movie. Um, and like at first, like when I first saw the movie and like how she was acting, I thought she was still alive the way like she was talking in the movie and like going about it. I just thought at this point like Nada was just a recluse or whatever, and like her mom was like taking care of her. But then you see she just has her dead body in her room, and she's like so distraught to the point that she's convinced herself that she's still taking care of her daughter, which is very fucking disheartening, and then also like just like disturbing as well because you just have a rotting corpse like in the house. So Mark, what were like your opinions on the mother as well?
She was so sad and pathetic. I was like, oh my god, lady. But then also, like, you have your daughter's like corpse in her bed. Like, I get that you're mourning, but like, that's just too much.
Yeah.
That was too much.
Maria.
I felt bad for her because like she was like sad that her daughter was like after coming back from university, she suddenly changed. She was saying how she stopped talking to people and how, she just tried to kill herself and just never said anything about what happened to her. Like nobody knew about what happened to her, about
Yeah.
what those guys did to her. And I feel like that's the reason the mom kept her corpse was because, obviously she couldn't move on. And I just figured that she was trying to hold on in her weird way to see if maybe hopefully one day she'll have answers. Like I remember like the scene where Jane and Tun had told her how you know they were like yeah like your daughter came back and she's a vengeful spirit, and the mom was like sad about the fact that her daughter, even though her spirit came back, never actually came to see the mom. And I
Yeah.
thought that was so sad. I was like, oh, like her mom just wanted answers. um I felt bad for her. She was so sad.
Yeah, that was
So,
yeah, it was actually pretty disheartening.
so wait, did the mom keep the corpse?
Yeah, so in like midway point, Ton and Jane went to go to Notter's like family home. Like they were just trying to get like answers. Once they got there, they met her mom, and then the mom was like talking, like as if she was still like there. Like she's like, oh, like I'm gonna go get her in a second, like blah 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 blah. But Ton goes up to the room, and then Jane's behind them. They get to the room and like see like a body on the bed or a figure, then they turn it around. It's Notter's corpse.
Oh shit, that's kind of weird. How she would keep the body still there instead of like having her rest in peace. You got me?
Wait. I don't mean to cut you off, Rudy, but the audacity of Toon to take his ass to that lady to her mother's house and talk to her
Bro, you're not
when
wrong.
he know that he witnessed he know why she killed herself, and you're sitting in front of her crying, weeping, obviously like mentally broken mother, and you know why she did this, you know why you're being haunted, and you're dragging your girlfriend to witness this emotional moment, because this has to be like emotional and mentally fucked up, like fucking with your girlfriend's mind, to
Yep.
see your dead ex's mom weeping and being broken, and then to see your dead ex's corpse. The audacity of him. Men ain't shit.
Period.
He deserved her to be on his neck. Wait till we get to Tune. I'ma drag him. I'm already dragging
Oh shit. Um, next we're gonna go into Jane, who's the girlfriend of Toon. Um, he didn't deserve her because she had nothing to do with any of this, but was just helping him out just because she loved this man and thought that he was just being haunted by a malevolent spirit. Now, even though nothing did happen to her, like actually happened to her, the fact that she was still put through fucking like mental shit just because the stuff was happening to technically both of them since she was around him, but not like to her is a lot. And she did most of the work. Like Tun already knew what was going on, and he didn't like. Obviously, he wasn't going to tell her because he just wasn't going to. Like no guy would tell like his girlfriend that. So like she had to do all the work to figure it out. She figured everything out from the pictures, looking in yearbooks, figured out they all knew each other, and she basically was damn near the main character because she put everything together, and was basically like doing it for us, the audience, to like find out what was actually happening. But she was hella smart because a lot of stuff that she was like picking up on, I probably would have never figured out if I was in that situation. Like using like where the spirit was like pointing to at pictures with like lights and stuff, or when she was looking at like the pictures from their vacation and saw the ones when they were in their apartment and how she was like the spirit was on the floor pointing to the bookcase. Like she was really smart because I would have never figured any of that out to try to help out this man. But yeah, best character in the movie because she put it all together and didn't have nothing to do with what those guys did. Maria, I'll go to you for Jane.
No, yeah, she was great. And honestly, I don't know why Jane wasn't like wondering cuz I mean, technically Jane was the one who hit, like the girl in the beginning. I don't know why she wasn't wondering why are they haunting this man more than they're haunting me when I'm the one who was behind the wheel. And maybe he didn't tell her about everything, but I would have thought it was weird. Like everything's happening around you. Well, whatever. Anyway, that's my own thing. But no, but like, um, you were right though. Like she did everything. He was literally just trying to forget about it. He was trying to push it back. I think like the first time that she had hit them, she was obviously so like distraught.
Yeah,
She felt so bad about it, and he was just like acting like it was nothing, which honestly should have been a red flag. Like she was like, "How are you okay with this?" And he was just like, "I'm not, but blah blah blah." Like, bro, like how are you okay with this? Because that's kind of weird. Um, but no, yeah, she was honestly she is so smart to kind of have put everything together. I feel like in the beginning, you kind of don't really see much of her. Like you don't really see her, like you see her being all worried, but it just doesn't really seem like she's really thinking about it. I guess if that makes any sense. It isn't until like the middle of the movie where she like I don't know, like where she gets that drive to be like, you know what, I'm gonna figure it out, and she does. I'm glad that she leaves him in the end because that shit was fucked up.
hmm
It was fucked up, and she was just like, "Yeah, no, like this is too fucking weird. You're fuck." Also, good for her to go through like to do all of this for him. Because as soon as some shit would have happened, I would have been out. I would have been like, you know what, it's happening to you, not really to me.
I felt that.
I'm gonna go. Good luck. Yeah, right. Like, good luck with all that. yeah, like I'm just gonna stay at my place for a couple days. Let me know when you're done. But I liked her. I liked her a lot. She just seemed very smart. And yeah, she was. I feel like he was just not helping himself, which now you kind of understand why. But and but she was just helping him through it, and she was the one who was who took him to the village and talked to the mom, and she's the one who basically did everything. He did nothing to help himself, which was stupid because he knows why this was happening. Or maybe he wanted to act stupid or act dumb, like, no, like, I don't know, but come on. But anyway, Jane is great.
And Mark, your thoughts on Jane?
I honestly paid no attention to her until the end where she started putting things together, and I was like, "Oh, okay, now she's useful. She's gonna explain the plot of this movie to me." And then right after that, she disappeared into the end, and I was like, "Okay, you crying and looking at him, yay, do better." I don't know. She was she was useful until she wasn't. She should have died too, in my opinion.
Damn, what Jane do?
I mean, I mean, you sleeping with the enemy, you gotta go. So whatever.
But she
The,
know he was
no,
not.
the evil spirit shouldn't be super save a hoe. Take everybody out.
But see, that's why it's different than like it's not like that's why it's different than like the ring or something. Like in the ring, everybody would die.
As they should have.
So moving on.
Go, go get his mom and them too.
So moving on, we're going to discuss Nodder, who was like Tone's ex, the one who was haunting him throughout the
I
movie.
stand Nodder. It was justified. Your ex boyfriend wasn't shit. Like, not only was he dumping you and dumping you, I mean, yeah, you did a little bit crazy thing to blackmail the man, but you let your friends rape me, and then you took photos. Like you deserved it. She was justified in all the murder. I support a vengeful queen.
I do have to agree. Um, Nodder did what was needed to be done because, yeah, like Mark and everyone else says, we she like they deserved it. Like there's no point. It's no like no going way to go around it. Like they all deserve what they got to them. Um, what was she led on by him? Yes, but she like prior to like her being attacked by them, she was a recluse and he was leading her on, but also I'm pretty sure you can still kind of tell if someone's not that into you, is just there to be there. And you can tell by his body language and like the flashbacks that he was just not into her, but she wasn't trying to pick up on that just because she liked him so much. So that like a little bit on her and that like fault of the way, but also she did was like blackmailing him and things like that. And then um like the scene in the dark room where like she was trying to like kill herself and stuff, like at that point she needed to get some help beyond what Ton was going to be able to do for her. And Maria, what were your thoughts on Nodder throughout the movie?
I mean, great on her for getting revenge. Though I'm kind of wondering why she did it so late, I guess. I mean, I don't know how long ago she died, but I don't know. It just kind of like, I mean, I don't know why it took her so long to do it. Um, but um, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm glad that she got her revenge. Like yeah, she was in love with this guy. Like he knew that she loved him more than he loved her, and he still chose to date her to like just to be nice. Like, bro, you're in fucking college. Like, you're a fucking adult. Like, I don't know what the fuck, like, why you thought, you know, I don't know. Like, it's so stupid. Like, those guys who say that they're nice guys are, they're not really nice guys. Like, if you have to sit there and tell me you're a nice guy, you're not a nice fucking guy. And that's like what happened with him. Like, he was like, um, he was like, when he first told Jane like the story about him and Nader, like it was like he was trying to make himself look so good. Like, I just did this to help her. She
Yeah,
was
definitely.
weird. Nobody, yeah, he was like nobody liked her, so I became friends with her. She was weird. Like, okay, like I don't know. I just I'm sorry. I have a lot of shit with Toon, but Nate. I mean, good for her for getting her fucking revenge. I'm glad that she left him for last. Like, I know what like her friends did, and what his friends did, because that shit was fucked up. Like,
Hmm.
and especially to have the man that you love, who knows that you love him, and then just like let that shit happen to you. He didn't even try to stop it. He didn't say anything. He came in shocked, didn't say anything, and they were just like take pictures. And he took pictures with the camera that she bought him because
Yep.
she knew that he wanted. Oh my god, like I can't, whatever. I mean, yeah, she was weird, and she was, I guess, threatening to kill herself if for him leaving. But it was like, I mean, he was kind of all she had. And I'm pretty sure there are different ways to, get her to leave him alone besides your friends, raping her,
Hmm.
which I don't, which is so, okay, I'm sorry, but it's just so dumb. Why the fuck would he send his friends when he did not have the fucking balls to do it himself? Like, he had, whatever. Anyway, good for her. I'm glad she killed him. I'm glad that she left him for last so he can see all this shit happen. And yeah.
But he can't see though, cause she closed his eyes.
Bye. All right, so last and the worst is Tun. Oh my
He
gosh.
deserved everything she did to him. He deserved the broken neck. He deserved to be pushed out the window. He deserved her sitting on him. She literally shitting on him. She's sitting on that man's neck. She will never be off his neck. He deserved all the pain and misery and despair and the murder that I hope that she has for him down the line. He deserved to watch all his friends be killed one by one. He deserved everything. That's why I wanted her to go and murder his mama and daddy. Go murder Jane. Murder everyone he cares about so he can be miserable and alone and know that, damn, they all dead because of me. He deserved it. I never want to be like rooting against the quote unquote protagonist, but like you the villain of the movie. Like when you think about it, what's it? Natir is the protagonist, and fucking Toon is the antagonist.
Honestly, though.
Like he deserved it. Keep sitting on his neck, girl.
I big agree with all of that, and that's actually, yeah, that's very true. Like, watching when you go throughout the movie, like we're just so conditioned to believe that the spirit is like the malevolent one, but once you get to the end and you see, oh, she's not malevolent, she's right. She's right actually, and um, it's their fault. Like, I don't like, I'm not one to like say there's like good or bad spirits, but she's a good spirit because she was only affecting them, the ones that wronged her throughout the movie, and nobody else. Which is why I say it's like different from other ones. Because I mean, if she wanted to, she could have killed Jane, but she gave Jane the little pieces to help put her story together, so that she could get with her boo for the rest of her life and his life. So it's all on him. He's the worst. He knew what actually happened. obviously was not going to give out the information, but knew what was going to happen, but knew what happened prior to what led to this moment and why they're being haunted, and not just her being a malevolent spirit and his girlfriend running over her and then making his girlfriend think it's like due to all of that. So, yeah, Ton is the worst. Um, Once again, he deserved it all. All his friends deserved what they received. And going back to what Mark said earlier, yeah, he's fucking terrible for going to his ex, like his dead ex's mother's house and telling her that she's a malevolent spirit, even though he knows that his friends like attacked and raped her, and he took pictures of it that he still has the negatives of. Terrible, deserved everything. Maria.
Did you say me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, you're
Um,
fine.
no, yeah, he was a piece of shit. Like, for one, the fact that he didn't even recognize her since the beginning was a little fucked up, you know? The fact that he kept those pictures of her, like, not just like the pictures of what happened, but also the pictures of like her and him, like the memories they had and her being there with them, like just the fact that he kept those. And yeah, and he sat in front of like her mom. Her mom is crying and she's like, I don't know what happened. Like, I just want to know what happened to her. And he's sitting there with a sad face on, like, yeah, I feel so bad for you. Like, you know what the fuck happened. You let it happen. He's such a coward. God, he sucks. Like, he just deserved everything that he got. Like, honestly, I wish his death would have been more tragic. I wish he would have done some other shit, not just like throw him out the window. But I guess, like, I don't know. He was just he like just because he didn't actively do anything to her doesn't change the fact that he basically let his friends do that. Like they told him, they were like, "Oh, you want us to help you?" And he was like, "Yeah, like bro, come on." But and then just to walk in on it, I just feel like there's no like you can't tell me that he did not know that his friends were not capable of that because he seemed shocked about what was happening. But I don't. I mean, his friends in general just seem like pieces of shit,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I just think he's just the worst. Like yeah, he dragged Jane through all of that. Like Jane was terrified. She was scared. She really thought she hit someone. Well, for one, she thought she hit someone, and then just to like end up finding out that it was a spirit and it was her spirit, and then Jane trying to figure things out for him as he denied it, or he like acted like he didn't know why she was coming after him. Like that's so fucking stupid. Like you know why. And why is he not trying to figure this shit out himself in order to like keep the secret? Instead, he like dragged Jane into it. Like how much of a coward can you be to pretend that that did not happen, that that was not you, act innocent, and then like not expect to die. I'm sorry, but like his friends were dying. Like you cannot tell me that he was not expecting to die. And the fact that he went to the village in order to lay her to rest when really he just wanted her soul to rest so that this secret wouldn't come out. I don't know. He was just awful. Like I don't know. I hate that man.
Yeah.
He's a shit.
Rudy, I will ask you about Toon since he is the main character and with everything that you've been given so far. What are your thoughts?
I Man, see, this is the issue with this character. He is a fucking dickhead, and like I feel like all of his problems, from what I've heard of from you guys discussing, all of these problems are because of him. And again, this movie reminds me so much of Sterabacos because it's basically the ghost of the girl who is basically out to get the person who's responsible for her death. In this case, he knew what was going on. He knew what happened, so it wasn't like something hidden in the dark where he was like, "Oh my God, why me? Why me?" Like he clearly knew. Like he should have known that this is the reason why he's going through what he is, the whole next situation and stuff. Um, I feel like the writers didn't do a good job at getting it to the level of, okay, should we like this character or should we not like this character? And I kind of wanted to feel bad for him, but you can't feel bad for someone who's responsible for someone else's misery. You get me, or like death. So
Yeah.
he wasn't giving. I couldn't stand him, and yeah, I mean he got what he deserved. I just feel like he should have like died in the end. That would have been like a better twist than his girlfriend leaving him.
Well, well, he did. Well, yeah. While he didn't die at the end, he basically has to live forever with this ghost on his neck that he knows about. So he's eventually gonna die.
Definitely, and I mean that's like being in prison, I guess. Not to compare
Yeah,
prison to this experience, but like I guess the direction they
because he's
wanted to
basically
go.
in a mental health facility now. Because
Yeah, like
he's gone.
yeah, so like you're gonna be tortured forever. That's how I see it. So yeah, I guess it
Yeah.
works too. But yeah, that's what I have to say about him.
So, wrapping up on characters, well, we have some facts here about the movie for you guys. When the film first came out, it opened number one in the Thai box office, grossing about 800,000, and it remained at the top for a second week as well, grossing another like 600,000. By the end of its like run, when it came like international as well, it grossed about 6 million in total, and that year was Thailand's fifth grossing movie of the year 2004. The movie was also both of the director's first feature-length film, which probably is why like it had like pacing issues and things like that. Because they both, one of them was the writer and the other one was the like producer and like storyboarder and stuff. So, but it will make sense why being their first movie, it's like a little bit of errors there with that type of stuff. The movie itself has been remade like four different times. Three of them were Indian remakes in different like parts of India. One was a Hindi remake, and then there were two others. And then there was another remake that was an American remake, which I saw first before seeing this movie. And yeah, not a fan of that remake. After because yeah, I saw it first, but then when I found out it was a remake, I watched this one, and it definitely is better. Have any of you guys actually seen the remake? I know Maria, you said you did, but Mark or Rudy, have you guys ever seen the remake of this movie?
Nope.
No, I've never heard of Shutter until you mentioned it. So yeah.
And
All
I
right,
probably never will unless you want us to cover it on the podcast because I don't do remakes.
you're right, and we probably won't do it because I don't want to watch it again. It's but also continue on to the facts. Some fun facts. Inspiration for the movie was said to be based on a Japanese survival horror video game series called Fatal Frame. In the game, the main character, frequently has to use a camera to capture malevolent spirits, and is known for having female protagonists. So that kind of makes a little bit of sense. And also one that like is a fun fact in the movie is the scene where he was like running away from when Tone was running away from Nader in the apartment complex that Jane lived in. He encountered his girlfriend at like floor level 4, and he kept going around, and it was still like the number 4. And number 4 is actually seen in like several Asian languages as a sign of bad luck, because the pronunciation of it in many other languages is the same as the pronunciation of the word for death or suffering. Critics. So the critical reception to the movie. Most critics seem to praise the movie for its acting and visual style from the first time directors, while also giving praise to the twist near the end of the movie. But some seem to think the movie could have done more, as it seems to be another cookie cutter J horror movie. David Nusar of Real Film stated Shutter ultimately comes off as yet another hopelessly derivative and downright interminable Asian creeper flick. He gave it a 1.5 out of 5, while Sarah Bullock of Film 4 says, "Don't let the overfamiliar nature of the plot fool you. This Asian horror thriller rises above its flaws to deliver a tightly constructed, affecting, and downright terrifying ride," giving the movie a 4 out of 5. On IMDb, the movie currently has a 7 out of 10, and on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 63% with critics and a 77% audience score. Now, getting to the end of our show, we have our cash or pass. Um, for me, since I brought the movie up, I will say I'll cash this movie. Um, I personally just like it just because it is more of a, I would say, a thriller than like a horror movie, but has those like really good horror elements, which is why I guess it also is another reason I like it, because I do like movies where you're trying to figure out what the plot is with the characters, which is what Jane is. The purpose really is throughout the movie. It's like helping us figure out what's actually going on. So like movies like that, I tend to like, and even if they are slow, once it comes together, if the twist it does pay it off at the end, I'm pretty here for it. So personally, I would give this movie a cash. Marcus, what do we have?
This is a pass for me. Like, the plot seems interesting, but the movie is slow in my opinion, and it takes so long to get to like the exciting part. This movie's like an hour long, and it didn't really get there until the last like 20 to 15 minutes. So it's a pass.
And Rudy.
So, okay, I'm gonna break the boundaries right now. So, I obviously admitted that I never watched the movie, so I can't really give it a smash or pass, only because I don't think it's fair to all the viewers out there who haven't watched the movie, um, to pretty much be told not to watch it or to watch it. So, I'm gonna just cash it only because I haven't watched it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that others shouldn't watch it. You get me? Because it might not be my type of movie. And again, I like the storyline from again what I've heard you guys speak about, and I've done my research. But I'm not a fan of the foreign films only because of the subtitles, and I'm just like super ADD, and I can't focus on subtitles like that. So, yeah, but I think everyone else deserves to watch it and speak for themselves. So, yeah, I'll definitely give it a cash.
I get what you mean. And Maria.
I'll give it a cash. I would definitely watch this movie again. Mostly as a background movie, but I would also, I don't know, I just feel like sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I don't want to watch this movie, but I don't know. Like when I saw the remake, I really liked it. Like I like the plot, I like the story. I do like that it's slow. I like how the movie kind of built up to it, like built up to like what was really going on, and I really liked that about it. Um, I personally do love foreign movies. I feel like they're a lot scarier than American ones. I mean, they definitely grab my attention more, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, I would definitely buy the movie.
Great to hear. Um, yeah, once again, like I said, beginning one of my favorites. Yeah, just because a lot of reasons I mentioned prior. Um, just as it feels a little bit different from other like Japanese or like Asian horror movies that we've seen. But all in all, thank you guys for joining us in this episode of How to Feel Horrors. Now, Mark.
Well, before we close out, I just want to say thank you, Tawan, for taking over, but also for the listeners. Now that we're done reviewing each other's favorite standalone horror movies, we're ready to jump into our next franchise, which is going to be Friday the 13th. We are going to Camp Crystal Lake to talk about Jason Voorhees, and I'm excited because Friday the 13th is actually my favorite all time horror movie franchise. I'm excited. What about you guys? You guys excited for Friday the 13th?
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk about like 20 characters per movie. I love it.
Oh no, no! I see. I was afraid of that, and then I was like, I rewatched the first one for that reason. I was like, there's like a bunch of people who die, but only like 5 people actually matter. So it's definitely going to be a short list. It won't be the whole fucking cast. Like I thought
we'll
about
be
that real quick.
we'll be in this bitch for 2 hours plus.
I was like, nah. I was like, definitely can't do that. But I'm excited. We're gonna do we have an 11 movie journey because we won't be doing Freddy versus Jason until after we do the Freddy movies, because we can't review a team like a versus movie without actually seeing both characters in totality. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for Jason X and Jason Takes Manhattan.
you're ex- I'm excited for Jason Takes Manhattan. I can't say the same thing about Jason X, but you know,
I just like
if
some of the
you
kills in there.
yeah. But if you guys want to watch along with us, you can find from the first Jason movie from Friday 13th Part 1 all the way until Takes Manhattan are available on Paramount Plus. So, thank you guys for listening. Come back next week. Goodbye. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is a Letters to Media production.
Should we do an intro?